Is it time to create something different with your life and your body? Right Body for You will inspire you and invite you to a different way of creating the body and the life you truly desire. Ready? Let's go. Here's your host, Donnielle.
And welcome to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. Good morning, good evening, good day. Welcome from the past, the present, the future, whenever and wherever you are listening to and playing with me, with exploring all the fun possibilities of life, the fun possibilities of what else is possible with your body, and just exploring the universe. There's one thing that I really have enjoyed about when I started doing this work or life or playing or whatever you want to call it, is I really started exploring, the universe. I was always a thinker. Anybody else always a thinker? Yeah. And, I only valued the things I could think about. And what's fun is when I started adding the energy component to it. And, and I knew the energy component was there because, my mom had the Health Talk radio show for 27 years and everything under the sun she had interviewed on her radio show. Some that you heard and some that you may never hear about, because talk about extreme left side of the field, right? And so it's like I had known people had talked about energy, and it's like, oh, you have such a nice energy, and for me it was always that extreme woo-woo, crazy balls bouncing type thing, and so I was like, energy, whatever. And it wasn't until Access Consciousness and Right Body for You that I really saw energy in a different way. It's the energy that we all be. It's those moments that, you walk into a room or you walk into a house, you get home, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, someone's had a bad day or someone's in a fight. And it's because of this energy. It doesn't have to be that metaphysical woo-woo, whatever that I would go poo-poo about. I'm using such intelligent words today, woo-woo or poo-poo, that I had that point of view, and I know a lot of people out there in the world do, that when we talk about energy, you get the vision of somebody in a flowy veil and big rings, just whatever, and kind of have that that really out there, you just kind of go, okay, when they're talking to you and try to get out of the conversation. But when we talk about energy, that's not actually what we're talking about at all. We actually include things like quantum physics and things like that. It was really fun as exploring the energy with the bodies and the lives and the universe, and including this energy not in a woo-woo metaphysical way, but just as in a pragmatic way. I was able one time to actually have a conversation with my nephew who was taking a quantum physics college course. And it was so funny because we were having this conversation in my sister's kitchen and talking about how energy affects molecules and lives and change and theories like, every choice you can make, you do make. And somewhere out in the universe, there's a version of you who went right instead of left, things like that. And so after I was done with this conversation with my nephew, my sister goes, when did you learn quantum physics? I'm like, oh, that's just the work I do. It's Access Consciousness. It's Right Body for You. It's exploring this fun energy that is in a very pragmatic way that really blends everything together. And I just love it because my life changes, my body changes, my money changes, my jobs, my relationships, my awareness. Recently I had a birthday. We're in August. I had a birthday in August. And what was interesting about that was my family acknowledges my awareness ability, right? And so, which is just an awareness of the energy and how people think, and then as they think these thoughts and what they put into action, how that radiates out into the world. And so they actually were, to pull off a quote-unquote surprise party, they were actually, my sister's like, in her words, I had to put up a wall so you'd stay out of my head, which was so funny. They were doing all of this stuff, energetically laying trails other places to give me a surprise party. They're like, it was hard, which is so funny if you think about now, all that was required for that. So that was pretty funny. But that's what we're talking about. My producer said I totally get that. You are a peeker into people's heads. No kidding. And and that's one of the fun things. Is like when you start acknowledging this energy and acknowledging what's possible with it. As I do the radio show each week, I ask questions and I get information. I ask questions of you guys and I get information from your heads, whether you're listening to it in the future or listening to it in the past or listening to it live. And so that's what's really interesting is it's a peeker into people's heads. It's a peek, it's into their universes, into possibilities, into just really the energy. For me, that's what it's all about. It's so amazing and it's so fun. Excuse me. So speaking of energy, what we're talking about today is dipping our toes, testing the waters. What do I mean by that? Do I mean we're going swimming at the beach later? Could be. I'm in Costa Rica right now, renewing my certification for Access Consciousness so I can continue to play with all of you. Facilitate the classes like Right Body for You and the Access Consciousness 3-day body class, things like that. And just to, learn more and be in Costa Rica, because why the freak not, right? We always have a good time here, even when it does rain a lot. Well, it is a rainforest. Sorry. Somewhere that was funny, you guys admit it. Anyways, so I'm not talking about going to the beach with dipping our toes, testing the waters. I'm not talking about seeing if the bath water is ready. I'm not talking about seeing if the path you're walking on is hot. You ever do that? It's like, is that too hot to walk on? Okay. Will my body burst into flames? Yes. Okay. Maybe I won't walk down that path. So that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is actually how sometimes we do the energetic, right? Energetic and proverbial dipping our toes into possible, dipping our toes into the change, dipping our toes into, I'm just going to kind of check this out and see if it works or not. I'm gonna try this dress on, even though I don't think it's gonna fit. But I'm just gonna try it on. If you've already decided it's not gonna fit, guess what? Usually it doesn't fit. Bodies can do amazing, magical things. I've done it where, I think this is gonna fit, and it does. No, I don't think this is gonna fit, and it doesn't, and it was the same size. Yeah, bodies are magical, so are we, right? And so this is what I'm talking about. It's where we try on change. It's where we try on possibility, but we don't actually choose it, or we do what I call the pretense of change. And what do I mean by pretense of change? I mean so much and nothing. But for an example from my own life, when I first started becoming, I guess I shouldn't say first becoming aware of energy, because really we're all aware of energy all the time. We really, truly are. It's just getting us to acknowledge it and then strengthen that, and to do that scary thing of trusting ourselves And that's really, truly the scary thing, is to trust ourselves. And, when I do the work, that's one of the biggest things that I have people doubt themselves with, is that it is that trust in themselves. People can go, oh, are we really that aware? Oh, I can't possibly know that was going on. Oh, it's just a coincidence. I've never met that person. How can I know what's going on in this universe? And so, but it is. So I understand that. And trusting yourself is one of the scary things that I work with people a lot. And on this radio show each week. Okay. And so when I say, when I first started really becoming aware of energy, it wasn't that I was just becoming aware of energy. It was that I was allowing myself to acknowledge the awareness of energy that I had. Okay. I was really strengthening that muscle of more possibility. All right. And so when I first started facilitating classes, how about that? Because that's really what's going on. When I first started facilitating classes, awareness of energy would show up as an intensity in my eyeball. And it would hurt. It would hurt a lot. But I loved it, right? I would sit there and go, oh my gosh, the energy's so intense in here, my eyeball hurts, right? And then, a couple classes underneath my belt, I would be like, oh my gosh, it hurts so much, what would it take to change it? Because, that's one of the tools you can use to change your body is the body. What would it take to change this? Body can receive it a different way. And I would do that. It'd be like, oh, I remember touching my eyelid gently because I didn't want to, wipe off my mascara or my eyeshadow. And I'd be like, oh, body, what would it take to change it? And so it didn't change. It didn't change. Class after class after class after class after class. I had this intensity in my eyeball whenever the energy was intense, because your body is always giving you information, okay? Your body's giving you information about energy, about the world around you, about other people, which, hello, it's all energy. And so it was showing me this by my eyeball. And so I would say things like, oh, what would it take to change it? What would it take to change it? Ha, 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 ha. And it wouldn't change. So was I doing the question wrong? Was I not being potent enough? Was my body not listening? It's like, what was actually going on when I would ask my body, can we see this a different way? What would it take to change it? And it wasn't changing class after class. It was this intensity in my eyeball. What was actually going on? And here's where I'm going to be a big tease. I'm actually going to take the first quick little break instead of getting into the second half of that example. I know. I'm such a tease. Admit it. You love it. You love me teasing you. You are a big tease, too. I've met you all. Whether I've met you or not, I know it. All right, so we are going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, I'm going to finish that example. Then we're really going to get into more of that, like dipping our toes and what exactly it is and what the freaking frack do I mean by pretense of change. Okay? All right, you're listening to Right Body for You on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dane here, and I would like to invite you to an adventure in being. I've just written and finished a new book known as Being You, Changing the World. Are you one of those dreamers? One of those people who's always known that other possibilities should be available but haven't yet been able to see them be created? Well, I wrote this book for you. In it, you'll find tools, processes, and unique perspectives to change the things you've always wanted to change but didn't know how. In it, you'll find an invitation to a different possibility for a way that we can be in this world that changes not only our lives, but by being us, allows us to contribute to changing everything planet-wide that doesn't work. Are you aware that truly great people, truly being them, is the only thing that has ever created a great change on this planet? Are you willing to step up? Are you willing to be one? Check out a copy of my new book, Being You, Changing the World. I invite you to go to beingyoubook.com for a free gift.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. And if you are enjoying me teasing you, or if you're enjoying this program at all and you enjoy chatting with me, please do consider coming to one of the live classes I have. You guys, September is right around the corner, and you know what? I have a monster of possibility and excitement of September. Oh my gosh, you guys. September is amazing. September starts with me doing a 3-day body class in Vienna, Austria. Oh, I love Vienna. It is so amazing. You can almost see the music in the air. It's just freaking fantastic. So I do a 3-day body class in Vienna. And then the next weekend I do a Right Body for You class in Edmonton, Canada, which is so much fun, you guys. And then that leads straight into the Right Body for You Tools in Action. The first time this class has ever been done in Access history. I'm very excited about it. What it is it's a practical application of the Right Body for You tools. So, the tools I'm sharing on the call, the tools I'm sharing in class for the Right Body for You classes, it's really... It like I said, it's pragmatic application of it. It's not a classroom, it's life. And I've developed a bunch of activities that are going to encourage you to use the tools. And then I get to be there to help provide clarity, to see what actually is going on. So help you really be aware of the energy of it and go on from there. So I'm really, 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 really excited. And that's in September 20th through the 24th, okay? So we have Vienna 3-day body class from the 8th to the 10th. Then we have a Right Body for You in Edmonton, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. And then New Orleans, Right Body for You Tools in Action, 20th through the 24th. For more information on all of those, you can go to Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE.com, and learn more about it and sign up. Oh, you guys, I am so excited. I've been looking forward for this September for a year now. So what else is possible? So much. And she said all the links, my amazing producer will say all the links are in the replay of the show. Cool, because they're really cool like that over at Inspired Choices Network. They do take care of us. All right, so today we're talking about dipping our toes, testing the waters. Like, what? What do you mean? Are we going swimming? Not exactly. But we are swimming the currents of change, of possibility, of that energy that I'm talking about, okay? And so, before the break, I was getting into the example I have of when I first started facilitating classes and acknowledging my awareness of energy, my body presented an intensity of energy to me by my eyeball hurting. Okay, I'd do part of the access conscious and verbal processing. I'd ask a question, this energy would come up, and it would be really intense. And I would be like, oh my gosh, it's so intense in here. There's so much energy on it. And my eyeball would hurt, and I'd be like, I'd even say it. I'm like, oh, my eyeball hurts. Whatever, Who knows? I may have sounded like that. And so I'd ask the question. I'm like, oh, what would it take to change it? Because somewhere in my universe I had, as well as, yay, it's telling me, I also had the point of view that it was wrong that it was hurting. I don't know. I can do more than one thing at a time. How about you? I can love it and make it wrong. I know. I'm one of the only ones that talented. Nobody else ever does things like that, right? No. So anyways, and so I would ask the question. I'd be like, oh, what would it take to change this? Or body, can we do this a different way? And so it's like, I know we love our words. Trust me, I love my words. I talk on the radio. I talk in classes. I'm a writer. I research words. One of the things that I was really hesitant about with energy was because I thought I had to give up my words. I'm like, but I like words. Okay, it's not about giving up the words, but it is about being aware of the words. Okay, so it's like, are there supposed to be magic words? I'm supposed to be able to say, body, what would it take to change this? Or body, can we receive this a different way? And it just is supposed to happen. Those are the magic words, like abracadabra, or hocus pocus, or Avada Kedavra. Well, I don't know what the unlock spell is for Harry Potter. It's a good thing I don't live in Harry Potter world. But it would be fun. I went to Harry Potter land. That was fun. Sorry, squirrels. Welcome to my head. So it's not so much that there aren't magic words, because there are magic words. But but it's the energy behind it that is creating the change, the magic, the possibility. Okay? Oh, good. Christine said she followed that squirrel. By the way, Christine is not a voice in my head, which, well, sometimes she is, oftentimes she is. But she's also in the chat room. Okay? She's my amazing producer today. And if you've never joined us for a live show, I do encourage it. We have a lot of fun. You can go to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com, click on the menu buttons at the top, and it comes up with chat room, and put your name in. Boom, bam, bim, you're in. You can ask questions. You can have a conversation with other people in the chat room. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so yeah, she's not only the voice in my head. She's also in the chat room. Okay, so what I'm talking about is the energy needs to match the words, okay? And the words are a tool of that magic, of that possibility. And so when we say the words that are matching the energy, that's when we actually get the change. We create the magic. We create the possibility, okay? And so when I said, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, what would it take to change it? I didn't actually want it to change. I'll be honest. I didn't want it to change. For the first time in my life, I was trusting myself. Okay, you guys get that. Part of this is that I was trusting myself. When my eyeball hurt, I was trusting me. I was trusting my body. I was like, okay, there is a very physical evidence of undeniability that I am aware of this energy because my eyeball freaking hurts. Okay? And so I didn't want it to change because I doubted myself so much in all the other ways that there wasn't anything else that I trusted myself with. At that point in time, I needed that physical reaction. I don't need blah, blah, blah is another one of those words, but I did. I needed it at that time. I needed that reliability. I needed that. That's the way it is. I needed that physical, undeniable fact that my eyeball was hurting. And yes, we can get into, how we create, we can create phantom pain or whatever to verify and validate other opinions and points of view, which, you know what, you argue that with me, it just actually leads back to we have that communication with our body and the magic is energy. So, right? Okay. So at that time, I really, 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 really did want and require that physical aspect of that pain as the validation, as the proof, as the undeniability, as the way that it was like, okay, I do have an awareness of energy. I'm not just some crackpot sitting up here, clearing things with you. I actually have an awareness of what's going on. This stuff is real. This stuff works. And so I said the quote-unquote magic words. Body, what would it take to change this? Body, what would it take to have this show up in a different way? And our bodies speak energy, you guys. Plain and simple, our bodies speak energy. This is how your body can communicate with the earth, how your body can communicate with other bodies, no matter what language their infinite being speaks, right? Is how you communicate with animals, because it's all about the energy, okay? And so for, a full-on, maybe a year or two, I would continually do the body, what would it take to change it? Body, what would it take to change it? Tee-hee-hee, ha-ha-ha-ha-ha. And it wouldn't change. And it wasn't until, I don't even remember the class, but one day I was like, wow, this no longer works for me. This is not fun. And even though I didn't admit it at the time, I can look back and admit it. The trust in myself had changed. I wasn't requiring that physical pain, that physical whatever it was. I wasn't requiring that anymore. To trust in myself, trust in my body, acknowledge that I knew that I had an awareness of energy. Okay, and so then when I said, "Body, what would it take to change it?" That one day when I got an intensity in my eyeball, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired of this. This doesn't actually work for me. This is not fun. What would it take to change it? The energy actually matched those magic words. Body, can you show this to me in a different way? Can we receive this differently? And all of a sudden, boom, it changed. Okay? I didn't have a point of view of how it showed up, just that it was going to change because it no longer worked for me. I didn't require it anymore. And so this is what I'm talking about, the pretense of change. This is what I'm talking about, dipping our toes in. Because it's like, I would be like, what would it take to change? And the energy didn't match, right? I was saying, fit verbally, body, what would it take to change this? And the energy underneath was, don't change, body, I love it, please don't change it, I need it, please don't change. So was the body here energetically? Please don't change. The body goes, okay, you like it, I'll continue doing it this way. I can do that, no problem. And so it wasn't until that day that I finally went, oh my gosh, body, this has to change. Please, what would it take? And how can we receive this differently? Then it began to change. And now I receive information and intensity of energy so many different ways. Sometimes it can be a lightheaded, like you stood up too fast, which is a lot of fun. Sometimes I can feel like I want to be knocked over, and it's just a variety of different ways. But what it is then, instead of it like that validation and that proof, it's just riding the waves, right? It's just riding the waves of the energy and possibility and whatever else and however else that shows up. And so this is kind of what I'm talking about with that dipping our toes in that pretense of change. Because I asked for the change, but did I want the change? No, I didn't. Okay. So we're going to take our next little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about this pretense of change a little bit more in that, because that was a big question, you guys, when I said, Did I want the change? No, but I asked for the change. Okay. So there's a lot of information in that. So we're going to talk about that when we come back. All right. You're listening to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. We are on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host. Thank you for listening to me now, in the past, in the present, or the future. Whenever you are joining me, I am truly, truly grateful that you take the time to explore the possibility of bodies and life with me and my body. So today we're talking about dipping our toes, testing the waters. Okay. So this is what I talk about a lot when I talk about the pretense of change, okay? You've met these people. Sometimes you are these people. I get it. You know, they'll ask a question or say they want something to change. They want their body to heal. They want their relationship to change. They want their money problems to change. They say all these things, but it doesn't actually match the energy of what they're being. And this is what I'm talking about, like that you're always more energetically aware than you've given yourself credit for. Because you ever have those times with those people, you're having a conversation with them, blah, 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 and they're talking about their bad relationship, or they're talking about the job, or they're talking about some disease in their body, and you're sitting there listening to them and go, why do they actually seem happy? I know I'm a horrible person. I'm such a horrible person because they're sitting there going on about how abusive this person is, how much they hate their job, how much this disease is killing their body, and I'm perceiving them as happy. They just seem happy to me. They seem comfortable. And they talk about it all the time. So it's like, obviously it's torturing them, and I am such a horrible person because I don't know anything about energy, because why would they be happy about this? Okay. Just because you might not choose it in their universe doesn't mean that they aren't choosing it. Okay. And so what I mean by that is it's like those times when, is it possible at those times, it's not that you were being the judgmental cow, but that you were actually just being aware of the energy that it was, okay? So it's like, I knew this 15-year-old who got cancer, and every time I talked to her, she seemed happy. I'm like, am I a judgmental cow? She just seems happy. And, not that she was sitting there smiling and grinning and clapping her hands and going, yay, I'm going in for surgery today, or anything like that. But there was a lightness to her universe. And then that's when I finally started looking at going, oh, okay. And so I started asking her some questions. Come to find out, for the first time in the history of her family, it was all about her at the time. So she was very happy, okay? So she was happy that everything was about her, as opposed to her older brothers and sisters and her parents. And so in that way, it actually made her universe a lot lighter, okay? And so I say this just to show you that just because people are saying one thing, their energy may be saying something different. So yes, we can be judgmental cows. I have worn that facade a few times myself. But that doesn't necessarily mean we aren't right. And again, it is part of that trusting ourselves, of the awareness of energy and things like that. Okay. And so for me, with this example of, I said I wanted to body, what would it take to change this? I'm like, I wish I could receive this a different way, because it just doesn't, it's not fun to have my eyeball hurt like this. It was so much fun. I mean, yes, my eyeball was hurting. I'm not a masochist, but you know of. Sorry, guys. Sorry if you got some visuals too on that one. So no, it's not that I'm one that likes pain and gets off on pain or anything, but it was making me happy in a way that was validating something, okay? And that validation made me happy. Who knows? It could have been my left toe on fire, and I was like, oh, look, the energy is so intense, my left toe's on fire, ha ha ha, and I would have probably still been happy because it had a validation for me, and there's somewhere that I had an awareness of energy, okay? And so this is what I'm talking about, the pretense of change, okay? Because I would say things like, oh, what would it take to change it? But what was the energy saying? Please don't change, please don't change, please don't change, okay? And so this is also where we tried change on, you guys. I said I wanted it to, and I was trying it on. Because here's the thing. I would pod pocket, I would clear it, I would do the access consciousness, right body for you, verbal processing, and it would change maybe 0.01%. But here's the thing. It's never a waste. Okay? It's never a waste. A pod pocket is never a waste, because everything I changed then allowed me to change it in the future as well. Okay? Every time you clear something, something clears and your life changes. Okay? But I was doing this pretense. And if you look at the word pretense, the original definition of it means the putting forth of a claim. Okay? And this is what I'm talking about with people when we do this. Oh, I want it to change. I want it to change. Here I said the words, but energetically it doesn't. So this is why I'm talking about pretense of change, because we're trying it on. The putting forth of a claim. I claim I want this to change, and you know what? I don't actually want it to change. It's not changing. Ha, ha, ha. Which is why in the description of the show, I'm like, are you actually asking for change? See, for me in this example, I didn't want to change. I didn't. I wanted it to stay exactly the way it was, even though I was saying the words. And this is what I'm talking about. This is where I was like, you know what? This is not just about judging yourself, going, I'm doing pretense of change. I don't want to change because nothing's changing. That's not what I'm talking about. It's also acknowledge, but it is being vulnerable with yourself and going, truth, this is working for me somewhere. And here's the fun thing, you guys. Okay? Because here's the fun. Here's the other part. Here's the fun, whatever, fun I use as in sarcasm, fun. When, somebody has a disease or a bad relationship or a bad job or finance problems or whatever, and this reality says that that's bad and wrong and that it has to change. If we're enjoying it anywhere, then we're obviously wrong, okay? We're obviously, and I'm saying this sarcastically, but this is what we tell ourselves, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be enjoying this intensity in my body. I shouldn't be enjoying that I have this disease. I shouldn't be enjoying this bad relationship. And I don't mean enjoying as in happy, skip down the lane, that kind of thing, but that it's validating something. You know, I've talked to people in abusive relationships, and it validates their point of view that they're a piece of crap and that's all they deserve. So even though they may be saying, oh my gosh, I wish I could get out of this relationship, it's validating some part of their existence, and that's what I mean by it's making them happy, okay? It's validating some point of view that they may have. And so if we have bought that it's a wrongness, that it's, that we should change it, okay? So going back to my example, just to keep it simple, this reality says your body should be at ease constantly, and that if anything's going on, then it's obviously something's wrong. And so this reality says, oh, if you're in pain, you should change it. So of course I was like, okay, well, I should change it, But I was actually functioning from the point of view of don't let it change, don't let it change, don't let it change. And so when we do that, don't let it change, don't let it change, don't let it change, and we're actually functioning from that, but we're not acknowledging that, okay? Because here's the thing. I'm like, of course I would want it to change, because a sane person would not want their body in pain to prove that they have an awareness of energy. So, of course I wanted to change, and then shove the awareness down that I didn't want it to change, that I was actually enjoying it. I would shove it down, put it in the back of my shirt, put it in my bra where all good things go, right? Just kidding. Those of you with big boobs know that's where you stick a lot of things when it's for storage, right? So, oh, here's $5, put it in the bra. Keys, put it in the bra, whatever. And so, so I was stuffing down this awareness of that I didn't want it to change, okay? Because a sane person would want it to change, and I'm sane, quote unquote, right? Look at me. I'm bright-eyed. I'm looking at you in the eyes. I'm not frothing at the mouth. I'm not beating my head against the wall when you see me. Ha, ha, ha. And so, I would keep stuffing this awareness that I didn't want it to change down. I would stuff it down. I would ignore it. I would hide it from me, from the world, from everything, because no sane person would want to keep this pain, suffering, right? Okay. So here's the thing. If you're not actually able to acknowledge it energetically, at least, you don't have to verbally stand up and go, hi, my name's Donnielle. I like having an awareness of energy with my eyeball. When it hurts, I know. You don't have to stand up and do a declaration. But when you acknowledge it energetically, then you can actually shift and change something, okay? Because you can't podpoc a lie. You can't undo a lie if it's not the lie that you're actually functioning from, okay? I was actually functioning from please don't change. I was podpocking and putting energy towards the pretense of change of body, please change this, body, please change this. But where I could actually change something was in that awareness of body, please don't change this, body, please don't change this. So I was ignoring that. I was stuffing it. I was hiding it. So of course I didn't get any change because I couldn't acknowledge and see what was actually going on. And this happens so often, you guys, with this pretense of change. It's like we have some awareness that we are hiding from ourselves, some way of functioning or being or whatever it is. And so if we don't actually look at that, acknowledge it, and allow it to be, then we can't change beyond it because it becomes that stumbling block that is insurmountable simply because we haven't acknowledged that it's even there, okay? It's like in the U.S., we have this Dick Van Dyke Show. And in the opening credit, he would fall over this footstool every single time. So it was like we have a footstool in front of us every single time we open our mouths and we stumble over it. And then we go, where did that footstool come from? Oh, what footstool? There's no footstool there. And then we would stumble again and fall over it, stumble again, fall over it. But we would never actually acknowledge it's there, so that we could actually, move the footstool or go around the footstool or just go poof, make the footstool gone. because we're able to actually use the energy or use the tools and change the energy around it because we perceive it, we know it's there. Okay. All right, we're going to take our last quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about acknowledging the things that sometimes we don't even want to perceive about it. Okay. All right, this is Donnielle. You're listening to Right Body for You on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle, the voice in your head. Ha 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 ha. Sorry. And honestly, you guys, that's how the whole Right Body for You Tools in Action came up, the class I'm doing in September. Those people are like, you're the voice in my head, or I wish I could take you, put you in my pocket and take you with me when I use the tools. That's how that class came up, is because people wanted me to be there with them to provide clarity and, real-time experiences, not just in a venue setting. So I thought, well, that would be fun. I would like to be there with you guys to help provide clarity with these tools and see what else is possible. So that's how Right Body for You Tool in Action was born. Yeah, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But today we're talking about the pretense of change, dipping our toes in, testing the waters. And so this is really what I'm talking about with this. Just because you verbally asked for the change and didn't get the change doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, or that you're not potent enough, or that the tool's broken, or that you're broken. What I'm encouraging you to do is to really look at the energy behind the words that you're saying, okay? Look at the energy that you're being. Look at the energy all that is showing up, the energy that is actually truly there. Does the energy match the words that you're saying? Going back to that conversation that I said earlier, it's like, you can be aware of somebody, they're like, oh, this disease is so horrible. Oh, this relationship is so horrible. And you're like, I'm a judgmental cow because I just think their universe is lighter. I don't get it. Well, actually, you do get it, okay? And so, yes, sometimes we can be judgmental cows. And what if you are aware of what's going on for them? What if you are aware that it's validating some part of their world, okay? And so I'm asking if you'd be willing to be vulnerable with yourself and look at that, okay? Are you asking for the change? And is it matching what you're asking? What are you truly asking for with the words you're using? Start looking at that energy. And also the other side of this is acknowledge how potent you truly are. Because when you say things like, oh, body, what would it take for this to change? And energetically you're like, please don't change, please don't change, please don't change. It's not proof of your insanity. It's not proof of your inadequacy. It's actually proof of your potency. To be able to communicate with your body on such a level like that, and the universe on such a level with that, that you can say one thing, energetically say another, and receive that other, that's amazing. Do you guys get how potent and instantaneous and communion that actually is with your body? Okay? But we as the cute infinite beings that we are tend to listen only to the words instead of the energy. And so we say the words, the energy doesn't match. And I go, oh, see, my body's not listening. Or I'm not communicating with the body. When actually you are very much communicating with your body. Matter of fact, that's one of the next, I think that's the next show, is that five ways to know your body is communicating with you. Ha ha ha. But that, so it is actually proof of your potency, proof of that you have that communion, that conversation going with your body. So really start to match, look at the energy and see if it matches the words that you're using. That change that you've been asking for that hasn't showed up yet, it might be because you're asking for something else energetically, okay? And this is not about to get yourself into judgment of you or other people or anything like that. Please, 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 please. It's never about the judgment. What it is about getting you to acknowledge and be vulnerable with yourself and see where you're actually functioning from. Because if you're functioning from, California, but you're trying to clear something in New York, but you're really in California, you're never going to actually get to clear what is going on for you because you're not even looking in the right place, okay? And so you really want to start, just be vulnerable with yourself and really look at this. Look at the energy behind the words you're using. Does it match? Not for the judgment, but for the vulnerability and the awareness to see where you're functioning so you can actually create the change that you're asking for, okay? What else is possible when the energy matches the words? So much, which is why Gary and Dana were talking about choice is superior to processing. You don't have to process something for it to change. All you have to do is be the energy of it. So when you are willing to be the energy of the change you're asking for, how much faster will that change actually occur? Okay, so check it out for the next, lifetime, and see how that is, okay? And come play with me in September. Oh my gosh, 3-day body class in Vienna, Right Body for You workshop in Edmonton. That one is also being live streamed, so if you can't join with your body, you can join via live stream. There's also a pod happening in Kansas City that I think is going to be a lot of fun. So you can go with a bunch of people and have them watch, or you can join us in Edmonton, Canada. And then there is the Right Body for You Tools and Action, a practical application of the tool. The Right Body for You workshop is a prereq because we're not presenting the tools, we're using the tools, which I'm so excited about, you guys. So go to Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE.com to check that out, learn more about it, check out some videos. By now there's a call on there of information about the Right Body for You Tools in Action. So please check it out. Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE. It should be a lot of fun. I hope to see you guys around the world. And are you going to be a part of Right Body for You history? Come to the Tools in Action. This class has never been done before. We have tours, we have meals, we have excursions planned. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make it a happy week, a healthy week, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Right Body for You. Donnielle will return next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you and your body will join us. Until then, have fun.